This is Mark McEwen, 9th and 10th grade E&L teacher. This video is for anyone looking to engage their students through Google Slides. That could be remotely or in the classroom. Google Slides is typically seen as a presentation program, but Google Slides actually has a lot of different uses. So 4 different uses we'll discuss in this video: graphic storytelling, making a family tree, making a character map, and creating concept dictionaries. So here we have an example of graphic storytelling. It has the elements we're looking for, so it has a clear background. There's photographs, those speech bubbles, gifs. Here's an example using a Bitmoji, and then an example using emojis. So graphic storytelling can be fun for students to create their own stories. And it's a nice alternative to a typical writing activity. So here we have an example of a family tree using Bitmojis. Students could also use photographs or GIFs. There's lots of different options for this. And I would typically follow this up with a writing prompt, but this is a fun way students can share about their families, especially during remote learning. Here's a character map from Romeo and Juliet. This is especially helpful for stories like Romeo and Juliet, where there are many characters and it's hard to keep the relationships straight. So this could be created by a teacher to help students, or it could be created by students to show comprehension. This is what I call a concept dictionary. So for those really high leverage, high concept vocabulary words, you could have students create these concept dictionaries and then have them explain them. So this is also great for practicing speaking skills and presentation skills, because when students are beginning to learn how to present, they typically just read off of their slides. If they're forced to explain by just using images, it really helps with that. Here's another example of a concept dictionary. So the idea here is students are using images to help show that they understand the concept of a word, and then they're using it in a sentence to show that comprehension as well. So these are different websites that are helpful in creating these slides. So we're going to go through these. For fun photos, Webcam Toy is great. For creating that cartoon persona for graphic storytelling, there's bitmoji.com. For emojis, there's Emojipedia. For GIFs, you can use Giphy or Google Images. And then creating those green screen pics with a transparent background, there's onlinepngtools.com. So let's start with Webcam Toy. So Webcam Toy is a great free tool where students can take selfies using a camera and then apply filters. So I really like using this for their cartoon filter to create that comic book look. So we can see the example of that from the graphic storytelling. So here I use the cartoon filter to make myself look a little bit more cartoony. So then we have Bitmoji. Unfortunately, Bitmoji isn't available on computers at the moment, but if students have a tablet or a phone available to them, they can email themselves their own Bitmoji to create those stories. So we have an example of that here. Then there's Emojipedia. So this has access to all of the emojis from different platforms. So here we have Apple, Google, Microsoft. And this is great because these images are PNGs. So students can drag and drop them into their comics and they'll have a transparent background. So here we have an example of that. And to drag and drop, they just click, pull, and drop. And it makes it really simple for them to create those stories. Next, we have Giphy. Giphy is a great online resource for creating GIFs. So students can make their own stories or react to things using these GIFs, which is fun. And again, it has that same feature. They can drag it and drop it. Now, if students want a GIF with a transparent background, like this pigeon here, a good resource for that is Google Images, Google Image Search. So for that, I type rain and GIF, so we get that moving image. And then we also want to type in transparent after that. That way we make sure that it doesn't have a background. So be careful with this. When we're looking for a good transparent GIF, we should be looking for that background with the white and the gray. That shows that it's transparent. Some of these, even though we type in transparent, are not truly transparent GIFs. So here's an example of another transparent GIF. Another one. However, this, even though it says transparent, actually has a white background. So same as before, we can just drag that and drop it. And it adds a little bit of atmosphere. So now we can just shape it to the image. And then we have a rainy day in New York City. Finally, for those of you who are a little bit more tech savvy, if you have a background, green screen usually works because green doesn't show up in skin tones. If you have that solid color background, you can tell this website which color to remove, and then it creates that transparent PNG, which can be used in that graphic storytelling. So these are just some ways to use Google Slides, and this is just a starting point. There's lots you can do with this program. So again, my name is Mark McEwen. Here's my email address. Have some fun.